For his research, Vasselli tracked down truckers and their families like Sean and Hope Cumbie of Beaverton, Michigan.
Hey, Hope. I'm Steve Vasselli.
Hi, Steve. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you, too. Thanks.
And their son, Charlie.
This is Daddy, me, Daddy, and Mommy.
But Daddy's not here. Sean Cumbie's truck has broken down in Tennessee. Hope, who drove a truck herself, knows the business well.
I don't know what to do.
We made $150,000, right, in a year. That sounds great, right? That's like good money. We paid $100,000 in fuel. Okay, so right there, now I made $50,000. But I didn't really because, you know, you get an oil change every month, so it's $300 a month. You still have to do all the maintenance. We had a motor blowout, right? $13,000. Right? I know. I mean, I choke up a little just thinking about it because it was $13,000 and we were off work for 2 weeks. So by the end of the year with that $150,000, by the end of the year we'd made about $22,000.
In a truck stop in Tennessee, Sean has been sidelined waiting for a new part. The garage owner is letting him stay in the truck to save money.
Hi, baby.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Chunky butt. Hi, Chunky butt. What are you doing? Believe it or not, I do it because I love it. I mean, you know, it's in the blood. Third generation driver. And my granddaddy told me a long time ago when I was probably 11, 12 years old, probably. He said, the world meets nobody halfway. Nobody. He said, if you want it, you have to earn it. And that's what I do every day. I live by that creed, and I've lived by that since it was told to me.
So if you're down for a week in a truck, you still have to pay your bills. I have enough money in my checking account at all times to pay a month's worth of bills. That does not include my food. That doesn't include field trips for my son's school. My son and I just went to our yearly doctor appointment. I took money out of my son's piggy bank to pay for it because it's not scheduled in. It's not something that you can, you know, afford. I mean, like when sorry.
It's okay. Have you guys ever talked about self-driving trucks? Is he?
So kind of. I asked him once, you know, and he laughed so hard. He said, no way will they ever have a truck that can drive itself.
It's kind of interesting when you think about it. You know, they're putting all this new technology into things, but, you know, it's still man-made, and man, you know, does make mistakes. I really don't see it being a problem with the industry because, one, you still got to have a driver in it because I don't see it doing city. I don't see it doing, you know, main things. I don't see it backing into a dock. I don't see the automation part, you know, doing maybe the box trailer side, you know, I can see that, but not stuff like I do. So I really ain't worried about the automation of trucks.
How near of a future is it?
Yeah, self-driving. So some companies are already operating. Embark, for instance, it's one that has been doing driverless trucks on the interstate and what's called exit-to-exit self-driving, and they're currently running real freight.
Really?
On I-10.
Shower guest 100. Your shower is now ready.
Over time, it has become harder and harder for veteran independent drivers like the Cumbies to make a living. They've been replaced by younger, less experienced drivers.
So the trucking industry is $740 billion a year, and again, in many of these operations, labor is a third of that cost. By my estimate, I think we're in the range of 300,000 or so jobs in the foreseeable future that could be automated to some significant extent.
Agility Robotics to create autonomous deliveries. Once a self-driving car arrives at its destination, Digit will unfold itself from the back of the car. Then it'll grab the correct package from the vehicle and walk straight to your door to drop off the package. Digit was designed to look like a human and walk like one too.
Our goal with Digit is to have a robot at
I guess first of all, I remain incredibly optimistic about technology. And technologies always are two-sided, but that's not new. That's always been the case. And we will figure it out. The last thing we'd ever want to do is stop the progress of new technologies, even when they are dual use.
But, says Thompson, beneath the surface, there's a worry most of them don't like to talk about.
There are some people in Silicon Valley who believe that you just have to trust the technology. Throughout history, there's been a complicated relationship between humans and machines. We've always worried about machines, and it's always been fine. And we don't know how AI will change the labor force, but it will be okay. So that argument exists. There's another argument, which is what I think most of them believe deep down, which is this is different. We're going to have labor force disruption like we've never seen before. And if that happens, will they blame us?
There is, however, one of the Wired 25 icons willing to take on the issue. On stage, Kai-Fu Lee dispenses with one common fear.
Well, I think there's so many myths out there. I think one myth is that because AI is so good at a single task, that one day we'll wake up and we'll all be enslaved or forced to plug our brains to the AI. But it is nowhere close to displacing humans.
But in interviews around the event and beyond, he takes a decidedly contrarian position on AI and job loss.
The AI giants want to paint a rosier picture because they're happily making money. So I think they prefer not to talk about the negative side. I believe about 50% of jobs will be somewhat or extremely threatened by AI in the next.
Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a great day. So right now we want to talk about universal basic income, cryptocurrency, coins, projects that are out there to try to make the world better, actually solve problems. And we want to talk about one of the big impacts that is coming, and that is self-driving autonomous vehicles, trucks. That makes up a large part of our job economy and job market, and what's going to happen to the people in these industries and beyond. And so as we got to see some of the problems of struggling truck drivers. I believe the report talked a lot about, that there was one time when your average truck driver made over $100,000 a year. But now, on average, they make about $40,000 a year, and that's because a lot of the truck drivers and families that have depended on this income in our very feudalistic, capitalistic system, it has basically usurped the value away from those people, right? And so, of course, the bigger issue than that is turns out to be that they're not going to have the truck driving jobs at all, and many other jobs that are going to be automated away, as we can see from this special report. Now, as you can see, what gets played out a lot throughout the course of the video is that people in the tech industry who are making a lot of money, they want to always paint that picture of, oh, technologies, we've done this, several industrial revolutions before. And it is this concept that this will be just like the others, right? But deep down, they know this is different. They know this is going to end up being a robotics AI revolution, unlike we've never seen before, that we're developing artificial minds. As we can see from the various bots throughout this report, that these bots are able to do the work of humans, as well as deliver packages and drives, and an incredible amount of ignorance It's very common, actually. This is a very common issue. There's a large amount of ignorance. People in those industries who don't know, like the truck driver who was basically who's going to probably end up being a victim of this. He thought he couldn't be replaced. And there are many industries out there like that where people feel that way. I was speaking with a brick mason, and he just couldn't believe a robot could lay bricks. And there's these popular videos online where you just show these robots laying thousands upon thousands of bricks, building entire homes in 1 or 2 days. And these are going to be jobs that aren't going to be available to the workforce anymore, right? It is estimated something like nearly 50% of the jobs are going to be gone, right? We also have to not fool ourselves into thinking that human beings in the workplace are that important. I think we live on this false narrative of where uh, we believe our jobs give us purpose and we're so important to the world with these jobs. But the reality of the situation is many jobs that people do are these very much these jobs that are the tasks are redundant, they're repetitive tasks. uh, that's why to a lot of people they're monotonous jobs. And as I can understand, people want to gain value from their jobs. Is what allows them to feed their family. As we got to see, even with these truck drivers, who once you could consider yourself making a good salary per year, they are being garnered down to making $40,000 a year. Uh, as when repairs come up, like this truck driving business and this individual and his family, by the time they get through with all the maintenance and repairs, they're barely making a living. The woman expressed how she had to go into her piggy bank, her child's piggy bank. You saw in the beginning of the video, to make ends meet and so on and so forth, and probably what was 150,000 plus salary per year for their family is now reduced to $20,000-$30,000 a year. Just terrible, terrible news. Now there's, as we got to see this tremendous amount of ignorance in the husband, this ignorance happens throughout the course of society in general, right? Especially in the cryptocurrency space, right? In cryptocurrency, an area that can solve this problem with uses of creating universal basic income projects to really address issues and problems in cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is focusing on other things, right? They want people to play to earn games. Now, the problem with that is most of the population aren't going to be skilled gamers, right? So what are you going to rely on playing games to people to support their, like that truck driving family to support their family? No, people need universal basic income, guaranteed incomes, right? That is going to be in the fibers of this futuristic society where these robots are going to be doing these things now. The husband felt that this was 100 years off or something. He didn't worry about it. The researcher who's conducting the interview with the family, he's already aware of jobs out there that already have this technology that can replace them, right? So he's just looking at them like the tremendous amount of ignorance that exists. Now, this ignorance exists in cryptocurrency. It's supposed to be the smartest people in the world. It exists in them as well. They are completely oblivious to how to use a blockchain to create things that create solutions and use cases for the cryptocurrencies. And let me explain a little further what I mean by that. So here's the complete ignorance of the cryptocurrency space, right? And let's really think about this for a second. So cryptocurrency tries to put itself out there as a solution, right? Well, many of the projects out there. But what that requires oftentimes is an initial investment, right? You got to buy the cryptocurrency. Many of these play to earn games require that you put some type of money in. But let's look at the statistics. In the richest country in the world, 60%, over half of the people can't afford a $500 emergency, right? Now, are these the people who should be in cryptocurrency, right? Are these the people that they're speaking of, right? That's going to be jumping into cryptocurrency? I don't think so, right? Apparently, they're not going to have the money. And this is the ignorance of cryptocurrency, right? And you wonder why the thought process is different from this and why doesn't anybody do anything. But the video kind of answers the question, and that what it does is it speaks about how people like Jeff Bezos puts up this front about, it's not going to be a problem. Now, the Asian gentleman at the end of the video who's doing these tours and interviews, he is the inventor of the Apple speech, one of the popular Apple speech recognition software systems, right? During his public interviews, what he's doing is he's saying that this is a problem that they can deal with. But the reality, what he's saying in private and behind the scenes, which shows the hypocrisy of this, is that he believes over half, just 50% of all jobs are going to be in danger of being taken over. Now, why would they do something like this, say something like this? Well, the reason being is that they're making money. And that's the problem with cryptocurrency. When a few people are making money in cryptocurrency, they can't see the big picture, right? And so they have these very false ideas about where economic prosperity is going to come from, right? And who's going to be helped in this. But that's not how it works, right? So the projects like I'm spearheading, Bitcoin MYK, projects like Bitcoin MYK, that through a function of what people do every day through their social media, provides universal basic income, right? Now, this works out like more of a possible solution that makes sense, right? Than many of the ideas that are being suggested on how to deal with this problem, how to deal with an inevitable automation issue that seemingly nobody can do anything about, but prepare for it to hit. And the ignorance of cryptocurrency in this, for it to be the smartest people in the world, smartest platform in the world, with the greatest minds in the world saying, we're going to need universal basic income. Elon Musk and a whole list of people. We're going to need universal basic income. Should be planning and plotting for this to happen, right? But they're still somehow caught in this weird black hole of thinking. And the only thing I could think of is because some of them are making money, they're projecting the Jeff Bezos ideologies into, everything will work itself out, it'll be fine. Let's just keep making money as well as we can make it. And as we got to see in the video, that is not true, right? So that's all I'm going to say in this video. Guys, make sure you join Bitcoin MYK today so we can work to create real solutions for the future. Let's stop going upon these false and fake narratives about people offering false economic prosperity when really they're just trying to line their pockets, get as rich as they can. If they were really focused on economic prosperity through blockchain technology, they would be creating systems that solve these problems. Instead, what are they doing? They're creating gimmicks day in and day out that don't really solve problems, that promise you 10,000, 14x returns. But we know that there are going to be very little people who are able to take advantage of that. Join Bitcoin MYK, real projects that can bring real economic prosperity today. That's all I want to say in the video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe. Till next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.